You were talking about this on Good Morning America about the is it the discipline game? Is that or the obedience
game.
Obedience game?
Yeah. When we were younger, our parents had a lot of fun with us, and they would do the obedience game and talk about encouraging us to make good choices. And so it was like, do this, do that, kind of like Simon Says.
Yeah.
But it really goes into all other character qualities, because obedience, how if you don't accept yourself, then you're going to go looking for that acceptance in other places. And I think a lot of
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, August 2nd, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Every time that I decide to go live to make a video or film, my dog gets up from her nap. It's like clockwork. She loves to hear the sound of my voice, or apparently feels like there's something that she's missing. Do you have a dog that always knows the right time to interrupt you when you're trying to get something done? Okay, that's Frida. She's not back there on the couch. She's over here by me. So I have been getting a lot of questions about visitors for Josh Duggar and for Anna, and whether or not Anna could potentially bring the kids to visit him. And then after release, what happens with Josh. We've talked a little bit about the after part, but we have not really talked a lot about the in-between part, or the 10 years, for instance, that he's going to be doing, because his release date isn't until 2032. A lot of you had wondered, given the fact that Josh Duggar has now been placed at Seagoville and he'll be there for 10 years and he's there for a specific situation that involves a specific age of children, would his own kids be able to visit him? And whether or not he would be prohibited from specific kinds of visitors. Well, the long story of it is that everything within the system comes down to approval by the specific place he's at, so Seagoville, and immediate family. So would Anna Duggar be able to bring Josh's kids to see him? The answer is yes, as long as they are approved. Isn't that wild? Yeah, I know. I was having a hard time believing this. So if Anna decides that she's going to make the trek down to go visit Josh, first of all, she has to drive from northwest Arkansas all the way down to Seagoville, which is on the sort of outside area of the Dallas area, okay? Not in Dallas, outside of Dallas. It's about a 6-hour drive for her. And so for her to make a decision to go is going to be something that she's going to have to plan. And then visits are only on specific days of the week, and visiting hours are only specific hours during the day. And you can only have so many visitors per month. So she's not going to be able to go there every single day. She's not going to be able to go there every single week. And he only gets so many visiting points per month in order for visitors. Some inmates go months, years without a single visitor. I have no doubt that Josh will have visitors when he's able to, if he's able to at this point. The specific institution that he's at was under more restrictions, but those have lifted, and so people can go visit. It depends on when everything was going on with the pandemic, they had closed off all visitors, but visiting has, as far as I've been told, reopened. So they are allowing visitors to visit. Right now, those visits include no contact, so it's still socially distant. But can the kids actually go visit him? Yes. So the visiting hours are there's Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. or Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And they have visiting hours on Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays, and Mondays, depending on the different pods that you have. And then you get X amount of points per month that you get to use for visitors, and then those count against your total visits for the month. So when it comes to who can visit him, his kids can actually visit him under the law. So he has not been terminated as a father. He has not been restricted from his parental rights. It says that so under this guidelines by the BOP, it says visits are permitted to those of the approved visiting list as authorized, and you get 12 visitors inclusive of immediate family or friends will be permitted on each person's list. So he gets to have 20 total people that are approved under the BOP. It's the responsibility of the inmate to advise their visitors not to visit prior to receiving notification that they've been approved. So they have to go through the approval process first, and then once they're approved, they can come visit. So they'll go through an investigation to determine whether or not they're approved to visit, but it says that immediate family members are approved generally, and that's their parents, step-parents, foster parents, siblings, and children. Now, children, it says, under the age of 16 may not visit unless accompanied by a responsible adult. So his kids that are under 16, which at this point is all of them, would not be able to go without Anna or, say, grandpa or grandma. Children will be kept under supervision of a responsible adult or a children's program, and exceptions in usual circumstances may be able by special approval of the warden. Minor children will not count against the 20 visitors authorized on their list. All minors will be on the approved, all minor children will be on the approved visiting list. Okay, so the children don't count against his list. So he can have 20 adults, but his kids don't count against that 20 total. Got it. The signature of the parent or legal guardian form is necessary to process the request. So Anna has to be able to sign a consent form for her kids to go visit, which I'm sure she would. And it says that they have to complete a questionnaire form. And if it's a verified immediate family member, they don't have to go through as many steps. Now, because of the specific conviction that he has, there's one guideline that they do have to follow, and that's under the Walsh Act requirements. So it's the Adam Walsh. It's a law, John Walsh of the America's Most Wanted, Mr. Walsh, for his son. And it says the team unit will evaluate all inmates under their caseload that have cases that are convicted of SOs against kids. And any inmate fitting inside that criterion will have the following annotation placed on their program under the comment section. This inmate has been convicted of an SO involving a minor, and then they are identified as having a Walsh Act assignment, and they will have all of their visits closely monitored. So because of his designation, he'll likely be under the Walsh Act, meaning that not only will Anna be there, but also they'll have other people monitoring him to ensure the safety of children. So it's interesting that even though he has the offense and there's this act to protect the kids, they can still go visit. They just have to be more monitored more closely than a non-SO in the unit. There's a dress code that they have to follow. There are behaviors they have to follow, like touching, not touching, what's permitted to bring into to the facility, what's not approved, what they have to be wearing when they're there. So what is allowed in the visiting rooms? A clear change purse, $30, no larger than $5 bills per adult visitor. Or they can wear jewelry with the exception of watches, electronic sports bands of any sorts. They can bring in diaper bags that are clear. So basically they have to be able to see every single thing that you're bringing in with you, and all vending machine items have to be handed to the inmates sealed. They have rules about what they can bring in, what they can't bring in. They have rules about, how they can act with their coats, the behavior of the children. Inmates are not permitted in areas designated for children. If they need to go to the bathroom, they have to be escorted by staff. Pets aren't allowed. Blah, blah, blah. Only five visitors at a time, but children under 5 don't count it. Under 15 don't count towards that. So technically she could bring all 7 kids with her at the same time because they don't count towards the total 5. So technically speaking, if she could get approval for all of the kids, she can get approval for all of the kids. They just literally have to keep, to themselves. And in terms of like kissing and embracing and handshaking, when COVID restrictions are not there, they're limited. They're very limited. So you can't have like a ton of physical affection. They might even limit physical contact to minimize the opportunity of contraband. So it's very minimal contact when you're in there. So long story short, all 7 kids can go visit. He'll be closely monitored as long as he's approved. And even though he has the offense that he has, because he has children that he has he's married, so he is the guardian of these kids, even though that he's technically incarcerated and he's their father. They can't prevent the kids from going to visit him because they're not technically victims in this case. So yeah, Josh can continue to see his kids, and it's up to Anna to decide if she wants to bring them there and haul them down to see them. And then because of the rules, all 7 can visit him at the same time under the age of 15. So once Mackenzie goes over 15, she'll count as an adult. Michael, Mason, Marcus, so on and so forth. Right now, the closest to 15 is Mackenzie because she's 12. But right now, all 7 kids can go visit with Anna at the same time. Kind of sad, right? But it is good to know that the visits will be closely monitored. So no, Josh Duggar's children cannot be denied, unfortunately, based on the guidelines and the rules of the prison system. So once he's out, supervised contact of only his kids is allowed. And then whether or not he would be allowed contact with children that are not his, that's not a stipulation. He's not allowed contact with any other children other than his own, and it's only supervised with his own children. So like Josie and his siblings can't go visit him that are under the age of 18. I don't know that they would anyway. So that's what I have for Josh and Anna. So yes, they can go visit. There's only so many visits per month. The kids would all have to be approved. Once approved, she can bring all 7 at the same time. They're totally monitored. And as long as Anna consents to allowing the kids to visit, which I don't know why she wouldn't, unless she decides to leave him, which she hasn't done at this point, yes, Josh Duggar can see his kids, and he can see them as soon as he's allowed visitors. And I'm not sure if he's been allowed visitors yet. To be frank, I don't know. He's been down in Seagoville for over a month now. I'm sure at some point he'll be able to get visitors. And I know they're allowing visitors. They're not closed off because of COVID anymore. So what are your thoughts about all of this? Does it disappoint you that his kids will be able to see him? Tell me in your comments below. Bye, guys.